No, these kinds of situations obviously have all these emotions, and you know, what kind of words can link with the emotions that you're dealing with. And you know, the thank you thing is pretty standard, works in most situations. But thinking about it in terms of my situation, and I'm going to kind of wax philosophical, religious, spiritual in this a little bit, but it's more like appreciation. And this is kind of like where I'm coming from right now, and kind of the way I feel about this. And so it's kind of personal, and I'm kind of dragging on the sandbox a little bit on this, but this is kind of the way I feel. And I think maybe it's got it on record or somewhere. Yes, I need to be on record on this. I don't do this very often. This is serious stuff. But appreciation, and this is kind of a litany of things that have occurred to me. Like I said, it's kind of a religious notion, a litany thing. It's kind of an old Catholic idea. Here's a list of things that I appreciate right now at this time and space. All my kids, Katie, Megan, James, Brian, Christian, we're all here. And these are my best friends, bar none. And these people, and the other thing I appreciate is I grew up with them. I had them when I was very young, and I had an opportunity to grow up with them and learn from them and be best friends, and now their friends are my good friends. And a real interesting flip-flop has occurred here, where I am kind of sitting back and starting to listen to them and learn from them like I think they kind of learned from me as I went along when I was their age. So complicated things happen here in my life, so I just want to kind of put that out there. But of course, the other person I want to thank a lot is my ex-wife, Vicky. And what she's done over the years, and you only realize this when you start to look back with all the kids, and particularly in Brian's case with his learning situation, which she identified and corrected so quickly and so early on, and was so significant in his development and his success. Today he is a player in the recruiting business around the country based on efforts that she made, identified, and took care of. And it was an astounding thing what she did, so I really appreciate what she did. And of course, in this situation, I appreciate Gia, who's beautiful, Brian, who's handsome, and not the physical. That's obvious. I'm talking about beautiful and handsome in all senses. And everybody knows what we mean by that. So that's another appreciation. Going on by obviously, Peter and Karen, this kind of effort is a big deal. I've been around long enough to know what Karen's done to really coordinate this. The wedding plan, unbelievable. I've watched this thing work and I'm stunned how they were able to pull this off. And I appreciate Peter Jr. Horsey. Very interested to know how his life's going to unfold. I love him. I appreciate him and love him too. So this is going to be really extra for us here. The family last night, the Druce's, that thing was Maine on steroids. I've never been to a more beautiful place. And I've been around. The lobstermen who went out and got the lobster. And think about that. I watch them all day long. I mean, this lobster, and this is a big deal up here. It was a big part of this wedding. The trolley guys, you know, all us around. I mean, what a great group. People making that work. The belles of the ball, the belles of the South, all these wonderful Southern girls. Just amazing people. And they're handsome boyfriends and husbands. I mean, I've run across the South phenomenon is so cool. And I just appreciate those people and their liveliness, their love for life. I was dancing, we were dancing, waiting for the trolley. There were like 9 or 10 of us dancing around in a circle because Leah had the whole thing organized. And it was stunning. It really was. It was really a cool deal. And people in the North don't do that.
Oh my God.
And I want to point out, Tommy Thompson, my cousin, got up the other night, or last night, and was talking about what goes on behind the people that existed before that created all this. And that really struck me. You know, Lloyd Kirk Sr., Lloyd Kirk Jr., formed L.C. Kirk and Company in the late 40s, early 50s. father and son team. Brian and I kind of did the same thing. And to think about them, to think about my mom, to think about Vicky's family, her grandparents, who I knew very well, and to think that, you know, they're out there somewhere. They're around. They understand this. Maybe they got, you know, invitations out there somewhere and follow what's going on here. And I have a feeling that they are. And I understand what Tommy's saying. We got to appreciate that, all that activity, that DNA level that's sifted down to here. And so I appreciate that. Of course, I appreciate my own family, Vicky's family that's here. And lastly, I'm going to really wax philosophical on this, but I appreciate God. I'm 58 years old. I've been roaming around for all these years in this mystery of life. This is a total mystery. And we really don't know what it's all about, but I've been allowed to exist at this level. In this universe, in this galaxy, in the solar system, on this planet, in the state of Maine, at this point, wherever I am. And it's just astounding that I'm here now doing this. And in retrospect, there's been nothing bad about my life. All totally good, because everything that's gone on in the past has brought me to this point here. And it's just been astounding. And I appreciate everything. I appreciate everything.